as soon as we find out. Back to you.
Yeah, you get anything new, you get right back to us. Sonu, thank you.
A quiet neighborhood filled with retirees now crisscrossed with police tape as MCSO deputies look into a suspicious death. They say they had to call in the SWAT team for backup. It's all happening on West Copperstone Drive in Sun City West, which is where ABC 15's Melissa Blasius has been talking to neighbors who are just distraught over this, Melissa.
Oh, they really are, you know, and a neighbor actually called 911 this morning after finding a man's body in a parked car on the street. In fact, you can still see that car, the red one right there, past the deputy's truck. Sheriff Joe Arpaio calls the death suspicious, but says this is an isolated
coming up.
SWAT teams kick in doors and haul potted plants from these 3 houses here in the West Valley. MCSO busted the marijuana ring today, and we got the search warrant, and it shows deputies were looking for at least 4 people, marijuana plants, pot growing equipment, and money. The homes they raided were in quiet neighborhoods in Surprise and Peoria.
I think the police had one of them, maybe the dad, handcuffed that I saw, but the kids were really young kids, you know, and they were sitting outside in the chairs while the police were going in and out of the house.
Yeah, neighbors say they were shocked by all of this. We ended up talking to a man claiming he was security for one of those grow houses. Hear from him coming up on ABC 15 at 5.
Police asking for help to find a killer after a man is gunned down near 53rd Avenue in McDowell. ABC 15's Navita Fergani is out there. And Navita, the man was found dead in someone's driveway?
Yeah, he actually was found dead, but witnesses tell me expect to not
Workers' Party.
The transgender restroom debate now impacting federal buildings across the U.S. like Social Security offices and
As we look at the time lapse today, a few clouds up in the air above the superstitions today, and those clouds building off to the east and north here. Not a drop of rain this afternoon in the valley, but we did get a little bit early this morning. I know many of you woke up to some of those showers, officially just a 1/100th of an inch at Phoenix Sky Harbor today. But take a look at what's happening to our north right now. We got a few pockets out near Crown King and to the north and northeast of Black Canyon City. More shower and thunderstorm activity up near Prescott Valley, a higher terrain outside of Clarkdale, and then also along I-40 near Williams at this hour. Northwest Arizona also getting hit, and we do have a couple of flash flood warnings. These are the red polygons you see here on the screen in effect for extreme northwest corners of our state after heavy rain moved through there. So here's what we expect as we head through this evening. Just a slight chance of a stray shower in the forecast tonight in the valley, and then we'll see more chances as we go into tomorrow, particularly. That's right. We're taking action to help you make that dream a reality. Is that triple digits here? You know, for us, it's actually a little bit below average. So there you go.
Thank you. We'll take it.
All right. A little bit there.
Take that, San Diego. See you at 5.
Right now on the list, save your lunch money with these super stylish DIY school supplies.
Yoshida of Japan to earn the gold medal in the 53-kilogram class.
It is the first Olympic gold medal ever for an American female wrestler. Helen spent time in the Valley training in Tempe before she took off for Rio.
Samantha Witherwax with ASU's Cronkite News shows us how her experience at the London 2012 Games prepared her for today's big win.
Said, look, like, this isn't your time right now, but your time's coming.
Those were the words from Morales' coach Terry Steiner in 2012 as she lost in her final round and was asked to go to the Olympics to help train her competition. Morales said accepting that offer was one of the hardest things she'd ever done.
If you're sore, if you're tired, if you're injured, you got to come prepare this girl. You got to come do what she says. If she wants to drill on you all day and you're in the room for hours, but you don't take a single, shot, well, that's what you got to do.
Morales put in her time in London and her hard work.
Minute closure of the splash pad so everyone knows it's bathroom time. We're live. Lindsay Reiser, 3 TV.
Sounds like a great solution there. Lindsay, thank you. Police in Flagstaff are searching tonight for a man who raped a woman while posing as a police officer. And here's a new sketch of the suspect we want to show you. They say a man who looks like this approached a woman in her car, convinced her he was a cop, and had her get out of the car, then led her off to a secluded area where he attacked her. If you think you recognize this man, you're asked to please call Flagstaff Police. Former NFL star just sentenced to 18 years in prison. Judge handed down the punishment this morning. That's Darren Sharper, and he pleaded no contest to rape in 4 states, including there was a case, if you'll recall, here in Tempe. He spoke today in court, apologizing for his actions, saying he had no idea why he drugged and raped all those women. Sharper says he kept attacking them even after he knew he was under criminal investigation. A man accused of a bogus raid's been sentenced to probation time. Aaron Bray will spend the next 2 years on probation after being arrested in August last year. The bounty hunter sent a fake tip to a rival, sparking a raid on Phoenix Police Chief Joe Yonner's home. Detectives believe bad blood between the 2 bounty hunters led to that bogus raid. Tonight, 4 people are in the hospital after a crash in Scottsdale, and police believe the driver wrecked on purpose. Police say all 4 people were in one car when they crashed into a ditch near Pima and Wallapai Road. The driver and the passenger had to be cut from the car by rescue crews. They are said to be in, at last check, serious condition. The passengers told police the driver, Edward Redondo, caused the wreck on purpose. He's going to be booked for aggravated assault just as soon as he is released from the hospital. Police say right now there is no indication a shooting in the West Valley was the work of the Valley's serial killer. A man was shot dead overnight near 53rd Avenue in McDowell. Officers found several shell casings at the scene. Detectives are still trying to figure out exactly what may have happened there. A pool supply store went up in flames overnight, forcing neighbors to stay in their homes to avoid dangerous fumes. And Jamie Soretta has more from the scene at 33rd Street and McDowell, where the driver and the danger has now passed.
6 firefighters went to the hospital here, 5 of them for respiratory issues. 1 took a 4-foot fall. I want to show you a look at the building here. This is at 34th Street and McDowell. This is a pool supply store. And as we take a look at pictures from earlier this morning, that started at 3 a.m. and man, was the street lit up with fire trucks. Firefighters arriving on the scene to that fire working. They were able to contain that fire with the help of sprinklers that were going off inside that building. Now, the chlorine inside the building was a major concern. They asked residents to stay indoors for quite some time until this fire was contained. And that chlorine is actually what sent those 5 firefighters to the hospital.
Anytime you're dealing with chemicals, and then unfortunately, our weapon of choice is water, and most chemicals don't like water. They don't react well with water. But once it's superheated and you put water to it, now you've vaporized it and it's superheated in the air. So very, very dangerous.
The potential to bring fragments of the world together and pave a path of beauty that elevates us all.
Well, the Celadon steps truly have to be seen in order to appreciate their beauty, and they've been everywhere. They've been in commercials, music videos. Do you guys remember that famous song Beautiful by Pharrell and Snoop Dogg? They were shot at the Celadon steps, and also the city of Rio de Janeiro used them in their pitch to get these Olympic Games. Guys?
Very appropriate, and interesting that it was a Chilean that started it all. And what an unusual twist with his life in itself. Great backstory. Thanks a lot, Vanessa.
Yeah. Mark, over to you.
All right, guys, an Olympic veteran has a newfound respect for a medal that she used to see as nothing more than the consolation prize.
Last night, beach volleyball players Carrie Walsh-Jennings and April Ross defeated Brazil to win the bronze medal. It happened just 24 hours after losing their chance at the gold match. The defeat represented the first loss for Ms. Walsh-Jennings in her Olympic career.
Carrie and April were on the Today Show this morning, and she shared her newfound respect for the bronze.
There's no shame in a bronze medal, and
It's raising questions about what really happened. As Scott McLean explains, it sounds a lot like those swimmers didn't tell the whole story.
Gold medals, an Olympic dream, now becoming a major headache for 4 American swimmers. A Brazilian newspaper has released video calling into question the veracity of the swimmers' account of an armed robbery in Rio Sunday morning. The video shows the swimmers at a gas station getting into a taxi when a man approaches the vehicle with his hand raised. Minutes later, athletes exit the taxi. One appears to remove his wallet. Another briefly raises his hands. Another few minutes later, another camera shows at least 3 of the swimmers sitting on a curb. At least one holds his hands up, while another appears to reach into his pocket. It's unclear who they're interacting with. The newspaper is also reporting an unnamed gas station owner accusing the Americans of vandalism and urinating in an alley. Swimmer Ryan Lochte spoke on the phone with NBC's Matt Lauer.
There's skepticism that you made this story up along with these other swimmers to cover up some other form of embarrassing behavior. He strongly denied that, said it's absolutely not the case.
The video's release comes after 2 of the swimmers, Jack Conger and Gunnar Bentz, were pulled off their flight from the U.S., barred from leaving until their question. Brazil has been skeptical of the robbery story, pointing to apparent inconsistencies, and this security footage showing them returning to the athletes' village, looking unshaken and in possession of their cell phones. Lochte has already returned to the U.S. The other 3 are still in Brazil, and it's unclear when they'll be allowed to return to the U.S. I'm Brandon Lee, 3 TV.
We are following some breaking news right now. Our news chopper is over the scene near Cave Creek in Peoria, where a woman helping a homeless person was reportedly shot by the transient several times, and apparently she managed to flag down a passing DPS trooper who called an ambulance to rush out to the scene and help her. She was taken off to the hospital in critical condition, and we have a crew on the way. Of course, the chopper's just over the scene in this residential area near Cave Creek and Peoria, where a woman who was reportedly helping someone who was transient got shot by that homeless person repeatedly. The circumstances surrounding what happened and how this happened, we're still waiting for more information on this. This is just coming into our newsroom in the last 15 minutes. We'll keep you posted on air, online, and through our 3TV News app. The Blue Cut fire is burning out of control, and firefighters say it's one of the worst fires they've ever seen. It's already destroyed.
I know, or some takeout, right?
Right after this newscast.
Well, she's one of the only women in the world who has a gold medal as a coach and player. We talked to basketball star Jennifer Gillum.
Plus, what's the best way to protect your skin from the sun? 2 beach volleyball players have the answer. That's next on 12 News, first at 4:30.
Day, my lady. Fire ran the opposite direction. It ran up.